You're listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.
It's Monday, June 1st. Let's look at what's happening in Korea's property market. Before you sign anything, here's what changed in Seoul's property market this week. Pre-sale rights for a Mapo-gu apartment that sold for 17.4 billion won, roughly $12.4 million in 2024 are now trading at 31 billion won, about $22.1 million. That's a 78% premium in under 2 years. The reconstruction market in Apgujeong, Yeouido, and Mokdong is seeing 80 trillion won, approximately $57 billion in total contract volume this year. Hyundai E&C and Samsung C&T are in the middle of a full-scale bid war for the decade. And from July, the Korean won will trade 24 hours a day. That changes something fundamental for international real estate capital flows into Korea. It's Monday, June 1st. Let's look at what's happening in Korea's property market. Let's start with new apartment pre-sale rights. In Seoul, properties that cleared regulatory lockup periods are now being bid up dramatically. A Mapo-gu unit, Mapo Zi-Hill State Rachel's, a rare flat-site large complex in the area, went from a 2024 launch price of 17.4 billion won to a pre-sale transaction of 31 billion won in mid-May. In Seoul-gu, a Bampodong unit sold at 36.9 billion won against a launch price of roughly 22 billion won, a 68% premium. The driver is simple. New supply in Seoul is scarce. Construction costs have surged, and loan regulations mean buyers need more than 20 billion won in cash just to close on premium new units. Yet recent subscription rounds in Dongjak-gu cleared at dozens to one competition ratios at prices over 8 million won per 3.3 square meters. Foreign real estate investors need to understand Jont's dynamics here. Korea's unique rental deposit system, where tenants pay a large lump sum instead of monthly rent, has traditionally provided a financing mechanism for property buyers. As new supply tightens and prices rise, the Jont's deposit required moves in parallel, increasing the entry cost for the system entirely. On the construction side, Hyundai E&C has already secured over 8 trillion won, about $5.7 billion in urban renewal contracts this year alone. The Apgujeong District 3 contract alone was worth 5.56 trillion won. Samsung C&T has raised its 2026 target to 13 trillion won, a 41% increase from last year, and is positioning in Yeouido, Mokdong, and Seongsu. GSE&C added over 800 billion won in contracts in a single day last week. The total urban renewal market this year is approximately 80 trillion won, roughly $57 billion. This is not speculative pipeline. These are signed contracts. For older apartment complexes, there's a parallel market dynamic. As new development concentrates in premium districts, older units, those over 15 years, are being repositioned through exterior repainting and common area upgrades. The share of Seoul apartment transactions in properties over 10 years old rose from 64.8% in 2022 to 80.1% in 2025. Buyers are paying attention to building presentation. Now, a structural change. Starting July 6th, the Seoul foreign exchange market will operate 24 hours a day, Monday 6 a.m. through Saturday 6 a.m. KST. This is the first fundamental reform of Korea's FX framework since the 1997 financial crisis. The government's stated goal includes facilitating MSCI developed market index inclusion. For foreign investors with Korean real estate exposure, this reduces friction around capital repatriation timing. 3 things to watch. May CPY on June 2nd. If inflation hits 3%, the Bank of Korea rate hike timeline for H2 becomes more certain, which directly affects Korean mortgage rates. Currently, 5-year fixed rates run from 4.26% to 6.95%, and the market thinks the ceiling could approach 8%. The Apgujeong and Yeouido reconstruction bid outcomes over the next 60 days. Samsung C&T is the favored single bidder for the Seongsu Strategic Renewal Zone 3 district, a contract estimated at 1.5 to 2 trillion won, and the government's ongoing agricultural land survey, a nationwide audit of 10.49 million parcels, launched under President Lee Jae-myung, is checking for fake self-cultivation registrations. This matters for rural land buyers who acquired farmland under self-cultivation exemptions. That's today's AI Prism. real estate. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI Prism is a Juan Ifra award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.